Hello. So we come to you Friday afternoon, a couple hours before the Blast Pro Series is about to kick off. Apologies, we wanted to have this video out last night. We had Dreamus and Sega joining us. It was late at night. Sega was in Korea, and we put together a great hour and a half video, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties when we tried uploading it. Namely, you couldn't hear anybody, which is a bit of an issue. So we decided to go at it again today, but Dreamus had to work, and Sega is looking for whatever he's doing, tour stuff in Korea. So something's better than nothing, and we're gonna still give you their picks, but a short, sweet video is on the cards. So yeah, thanks Neutral for making the time today, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we can still carry this. We got this.
Yeah. I mean, we did talk to them today to make sure that we've got the best bets from yesterday, and so we'll carry on. So first up is Blast Pro Series. As I said, it's starting, I think, in just like 2 or 3 hours now. Yeah. So what was your first pick for that, Neutral?
My first pick was MIBR to win against FaZe on cash. The odds should be around 1.8, and I feel like FaZe kind of let cash through, and I don't like it. I feel like FaZe is overconfident on cash. They've always been really confident in the cash, but the results never were that great on it. And I think that Nico has the idea that it's one of the more puggy style maps, so he can call on it better, but still, it's a map that perfectly suits playstyle of MIBR, and I feel like MIBR are just pretty good on cash, although their win rate is great, but then again I don't want to take that into consideration too much, considering it's mostly online against lower tier NA teams. I still feel like they have the edge on cash, and I mean, although FaZe have Nico, we have to keep in mind MIBR have Cold-Zero, right? So
yeah, the star power sort of evens out on both teams. You can't say FaZe can just sort of pug it out against MIBR because
that's the whole thing of MIBR, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I really like that one, and again, I think FaZe they picked it. I remember two interesting series against most sports before the summer, and maybe one was at E-League, and sort of picking it and most sports winning both times on it. So I think there is a misconception by FaZe that it's a strong map for them, considering how many teams probably veto it against them, when really MIBR plays it a ton. And so I think that's a good one. My first pick was one that Dreamus also was on, and that was NIP against Cloud9 Mirage. So we talked about it yesterday in quite a bit of detail. I'll just hit the main points. NIP is being undervalued here because of their online results. We've seen them, I think they started off ESL Pro League with a 1-9 record, or something really sad for even the biggest, even the smallest NIP fans. We're not happy to see that. But we do think it's still a good map for them. Cloud9 is obviously playing with Keo for the first time, and while Keo is one, if not the best support player who's not on a team, he still needs to fit in with the team, and we don't know what that's going to look like. So it's not like NIP is being given 4 rounds on the spread here, it's just 2.5. And given that it's Mirage, which is a map that NIP rolled Cloud9 on at the last Blast Pro Series, I think that's generous. So that was our first one. And as long as NIP get a pistol, put up 7 rounds T sides, even 6 probably, they have a good enough CT side, hopefully.
No, and I mean what I touched on yesterday as well is, I mean, Cloud9 have the AWPer issue, they don't have an AWPer anymore. Automatic is going to AWP, and I don't think Automatic on T side Mirage, if nothing works, you really need an AWP if the normal setups don't work. So I feel like
get some picks
nobody.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Automatic can out-AWP Lekro or any other AWPer that NIP might put up,
Yeah,
so.
We've been seeing Forrest play it from like the short B, and no, I think NIP is more comfortable playing without an AWP than Cloud9 is, considering. And then the amount of time they've had to practice too, right? So it'll be interesting to see what C9 can put together here. It might just be a sort of experimental tournament like the last Blast Pro Series was for them. But I'm not going to write them off. I think Golden is a good IGL, and they've got star power, so they can rush, and Automatic can get 3-man multi kills in a round to sort of carry them a bit. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, they can cause an upset. They boot camp before this event, and I don't think that a lot of teams know what they have in terms of strategy and stuff. So they might come out swinging. Be a bit of a dark horse. They have no pressure on themselves. And we might see a guy like Flusha step up one game and just go off. Yeah. I'd say they're a dark horse. I think they pick up a win here. I don't know against who, but I think they'll pick up a win. But I don't see this match being likely at all.
The tricky part is, you've got Astralis, Na'Vi, FaZe, MIBR. Those are 4 of the top 6 or 7 teams right now in the world. So then NIP is maybe a distant 10th. Let's be generous, and so C9 is sort of the odd man out. But they like you mentioned yesterday, previous major winners, right?
Previous major winners.
So. Yeah. All right. So what was your second one?
It was Na'Vi to win against FaZe on Overpass. So basically, I'm fading FaZe again, but mostly this one is. So I feel like the Overpass of FaZe used to be pretty good, but I don't like Nico's calling on Overpass. Right. I did like Karrigan's calling on Overpass because I feel like every team Karrigan has had was good in Overpass. Astralis has always been good in Overpass. When they were TSM and a question mark, and they had Karrigan, they were also good on Overpass. FaZe used to be pretty good on Overpass, and now Nico's taken over. And I don't know, I don't like their Overpass that much. If I recall, they have a win rate on Overpass on around 40%. And Na'Vi, it's the map that Simple is notorious to go off on. Yeah. He has had 1.6 plus ratings the past 2 matches, and I feel like it's a map where every player can play well. Electronic can show up. Flamey behind barrels on B is a nuisance. Edward, this is one of Edward's best maps, and Zeus can call quite well. Even when he was in Gambit, it was one of the best maps. So I like the map for Na'Vi, and I feel like Na'Vi have some good momentum coming in here. Electronic has looked the best he's ever looked, and I feel like Edward should have the incentive to play well here, because if he doesn't, this could be his days being numbered on Na'Vi, since
we keep all anticipating when that last tournament, when the last when the camel's back is going to break, and Edward's going to get the axe.
Yeah, exactly. With Adrian and Hobbit, both being free agents now, anything can happen. And like I said, Simple is still Simple, so I feel like the trio of Simple, Flamey, Electronic will beat out FaZe here, because I don't know, I feel like FaZe hasn't been the old FaZe. I know they just won a tournament, but I feel like Simple is better than Guardian, and I don't know, I feel like Na'Vi should be favored here. And again 1.7 odds, somewhere around that. I like that on Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good price for what has been one or two best map for them for about 3 or 4 months straight.
Yeah.
I'm actually sort of following your line of logic, and I'm taking Na'Vi minus 2.5 at 2.0 against MIBR on Overpass as well. And the thinking here is, again, strong map for Na'Vi. I think why it benefits them is Zeus. One of his strengths as an IGL seems to be calling the right site on CT side. Where he'll gamble stack or over rotate based on a read, and because on Overpass, if you have connector control or you're on the CT side near semi, you can get to from A to B very, very fast. And if you can have Simple getting from A to B and having an op maybe getting a pick on one side, then getting to the other one, also defending that site, you're just like, where do we go, right? And I think you can also have Flamey opping. He likes to be near Monster on the B site, and with those, they're both very talented oppers. So I like Overpass. I think MIBR will put up a decent CT side, especially if Na'Vi, is getting into that force spy situation, or they don't get both pistols and they're sort of getting reset. or Edward isn't doing anything, or Zeus isn't doing anything, and so I think there is a situation where MIBR can cover the spread or straight up win. But until I see MIBR consistently putting up good numbers in Overpass, they only had that one win against Astralis at the last Blast Pro series. Until I see them actually showing it's a map of strength for them, I'm gonna go with Navi again because it's just 2.5, and so.
I feel like the 2.5 threat is good here. Yeah, I mean, like you said, MIBR they showed up at Blast Pro, but we haven't seen it that consistently. While Navi have been grinding out these wins, so I feel like it's a consistent pick. I mean, I don't know. The MIBR lineup still has to fully make me feel like they're good. Like fully convince me. They haven't passed that yet. While Navi kind of have. I feel like Stewie and Tarek still need to show that they're worth it.
The only series that we can say MIBR showed their potential, their true potential, was the one in the grand final against Astralis. They still got dominated on map 1, Dust, which was their pick, but then they upset Astralis, and then on Inferno, I think, was the decider. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put up a great fight. I think it went 16-14.
16-14? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it was 16-14 Overpass, 16-14 Inferno. So, and then they went back and played online leagues and got the job done most of the time. But so okay, well we're not going to ramble on about that too long. So those are the 4 Blast Pro picks, but I'll probably have a few more throughout, as I'm sure you will. League of Legends Grand Finals. What were your thoughts? I mean, we talked a little bit about. Yesterday we talked quite a bit about Fnatic, but why don't you summarize?
Okay, yeah, I'll summarize it, and I'll try to bring in a bit more IG. I feel like yesterday, you guys don't know, but yesterday we talked a lot about Fnatic, but we didn't talk that much about IG, so I'll start with Fnatic still, because Fnatic, EU hype. Fnatic have a good lineup. They've shown that they deserve to make it out here, I feel like. They didn't have, their quarters. The semi was kind of free, but then again, it wasn't. I think Sega said this. It wasn't per se C9 playing that bad. It was just Fnatic just playing outplaying C9 on every front. I remember match 2 being super close, but then Cap got a quadra kill on that Azir, and it was just over. But anyhow, I feel like Fnatic has a good team here. The starting lineup got announced this morning for tomorrow. Bwipo will be playing in top lane, not Soaz, and I like that. I feel like you can't have Soaz playing against the Shy, because the Shy is the best top laner at this event thus far. The Shy, for anyone who watched, the Shy absolutely destroyed G2. I remember there was a stat when Invictus were doing Baron. The whole match, the damage dealt was the top laner of G2, Wonder. He had done 3,400 damage or something amongst those lines, and you had the Shy having 19,000. It was an insane matchup. He was playing on Jace. The Shy is just the best top laner at the moment, and I feel like you need a guy like Bwipo to contain him, because Bwipo can make plays. That's good. I feel like Broxah wins the jungle matchup against Ning. Rookie against Caps is a 50-50 for me. I mean, both good players. I feel like one of these two is going to win the MVP award probably. Right. And then I'd favor the Fnatic bot lane, but still, IG is really good as well.
I was going to ask, because it was mentioned earlier in the tournament, Fnatic beat, I think they took, 3 maps? Or two
maps off?
Two out of three.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, against IG. Now, do you think that, I mean, historically, is this something, because we see it in Counter-Strike, or in Dota as well, where they'll anti-strat, and the team that won it will sort of not do enough to prepare for the anti-strat.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you think that's a possibility that IG could very easily counter what was already done to them?
I think that's a hard one, because when Fnatic won, I remember one game being Brox on Lee Sin, maybe both of them. What they did that matchup was kind of pull out some picks that were really risky, such as Lee Sin, and they absolutely smashed them with those picks. I don't think you can really anti-strat those picks, I mean, you can't really ban Lee Sin, because there are better bans in the game, like Akali. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. But because he isn't OP, but Brox is good on him, so you can let him play it and anti-strat it. I don't know. I feel like those three matches were kind of an indicator of what this final will be. They were all super close, and I feel like Fnatic lost against IG. So why I like Fnatic for this matchup, by the way, my bet is Fnatic moneyline at 2.5 odds. Anyhow, why I like Fnatic is the only loss they had against IG, they lost level 1, right? And they should have lost that game by far, but IG almost let them back into the match. They somehow made it close. And I think that showed that Fnatic is just overall the better cohesive team. Their early game skirmishes are better, and I feel like individually they're just a bit better. But I think it's a 50-50. IG did beat KT and G2, so
but
I feel like
you're not just on the EU hype. You are playing the number here. You know, if Fnatic was going to be given a 1.6, 1.7, you would probably wait for a better price or take an over. Which actually, on that note, I should mention Sega's best bet was the over 4.5 at. Do you remember the price?
I can check it out right now. I think
Sure.
it was like it was quite high. I think. Yeah, it was 4.5 maps, and that's also a good bet. I mean, I like it as well because let me check. Where's the total maps here? Total maps 2.6 odds on that, so quite high. I like it, but I won't bet on it because I already have a bet on the finals, and I feel like that's enough to enjoy it. But this is going to be a super close matchup. And I can easily see it going to 5 and all being close, you know. So
well, and I had the outright on Fnatic, so we talked about this yesterday. So I'm not gonna throw anything else on Fnatic here because I'm happy with the payout I'll get, but I might hedge because I know there's a few other people in the Discord who are also on Fnatic already. So I think ideal strategy, you take IG if they go down one map or
yeah, exactly.
two maps, just to protect your bet.
That's the thing that I like for Fnatic as well. If let's say that Deshai does dominate Bwipo, they can still bring in Soaz. That's their second top laner. They can bring him in, and you can change your entire game plan. And that's the thing that they haven't really showed yet in the semis or quarterfinals. They can just bring in the other top laner and change up their whole strategy. So I feel like both teams can kind of, and I feel like both teams have enough experience to just be able to mentally reset after being down 2-1 or. You know, I can see this being a really close matchup, and like you said, it's probably good to hedge if Fnatic go up 1-0 because I can see the rookie taking over in the other map. So
okay, and I should mention Sega's bet was with the disclaimer that he is going to be watching it. He's in Korea, so he wants to see all 5 maps go to the ace match. That was part of his handicapping strategy, for anybody wondering. So. Which I understand because as we know, if you go to a football game or basketball, whatever, you want to see points, you want to see goals. So yeah. I understand that.
As well.
All right, let's quickly get to the StarCraft now. So Dreamus and I both had picks last weekend. Dreamus had a great weekend. He rode the Foreigner train through the opening round of matches, and there was several impressive upsets. I took what I thought was the sharper route and tried to take Koreans to win 2-1 or 2-0, and they either won 2-0 or lost 2-1, which is sort of the way it went. And so that was it was a bad weekend for me. But it's the best tournament of the year, and we still got some time to recover. So Dreamus' best bet for the opening round of quarterfinal matches was in Maru SOS. He took the over 5.5 maps. They're all best of 5s. And my approach to that was similar. It was to take SOS plus 1.5 at 2.37 odds. And we both agreed that SOS looked pretty weak in the group stage. But the fact that he is Maru's teammate, they train with each other all the time, it creates a situation where they can get inside each other's heads, and SOS knows how to read Maru better than most players who might even be better than SOS, or who are better than SOS. So the over 4.5 was at 3.0, I believe at Bet365. Yesterday, there still was only moneyline bets at most of the books, but we're expecting some handicaps to appear at Pinnacle and Betway, Arcane, etc. So that was the pick. Yeah, go ahead.
So This is for BlizzCon. No,
Yeah.
it's global finals, right?
Yeah, so it's the WCS
Yeah, okay.
finals.
Yeah.
It's the BlizzCon event. So
Yeah, okay. And that's kind of like our major, right?
yeah, it's the pinnacle of the StarCraft circuit. So the 16 players that qualified did so because of the points they accumulated over the year, and so the eight are left now. We also mentioned that it's Maru and Serral that are on opposite sides of the bracket. Everybody's hoping for them in the grand final, best of 7, because that's the controversy this year: is who's the number one StarCraft player in the world right now? Is it, Maru, who dominated, I guess, the first 6 months, or Serral, who would be the first foreigner to ever be considered number one in the world, and if he beats Maru here. So Dreamus is saying Serral is number one, and
Yeah. If Maru loses out to SOS now, it would be super anticlimactic.
It would be so anticlimactic. That's the thing, is like, I want to take a shot with SOS at, I think it was like 4.5 odds or 4.0 odds, but you hate to see it. Like,
yeah.
You want to see that, the best two at the time meeting, like, the best two boxers of an age, or the best two football teams. So that was the best bet. I think Dreamus was also on Serral to... He mentioned that ZVZ can be a tricky, random matchup sometimes, so he thought there was value on Dark. I don't know if he's actually made a pick yet, but follow him at Dreamus TAW on Twitter, and he'll be tweeting out some good picks. He really knows his StarCraft, so I recommend that. But I posted an article yesterday with a few picks. That was the one series I didn't have one. I'm also taking Rogue over TY at 1.75, and I'm taking Stats to win either 3-1 or 3-2 over Special. Now, Special is another foreigner. Looked good in the groups, really good in the groups, actually. But we're thinking that the line of thinking is he going to get destroyed in the quarters or the semis? So that's sort of the summary of this. How optimistic is that, hey?
Yeah.
You did so great. Now you're just going to
get smashed.
And, goodbye. So, that, I think, about covers it. Did you have anything else about the weekend's matches and anything?
I don't think so. I think that's
Summit,
all.
Maybe? Anything Summit?
Summit, yeah, sure. I mean, we took Ghost to win the entire thing, so I mean, I think Ghost is a decent underdog. I do think I'm gonna go for G2 over Complexity, since G2 have like 2+ odds.
I hit that.
I think G2 will win that. And let me look. What's the other one? It's Optic against Big, right? I think I'll skip that. I don't know.
So I haven't posted them yet, but my picks right now, I took NRG 2-0 over Heroic. I took Big Optic over 2.5. I took Big 2-1. I took Ghost 2-0 over Kingwin. I'm worried about Kingwin pulling out one map. I don't know, Ghost had some weak T sides, but that's NRG, who has a lot of firepower, and I think Ghost could have 2-0'd. Also, NRG could have 2-0'd, we know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go on. I don't know why.
And then I took G2. I didn't take G2 just on the money line. I took them 2-1 because I think Complexity could take Mirage or Inferno or Nuke.
Yeah.
Or I think
Complexity has a lot to pick. They have a lot of stuff.
And G2,
a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. So I think G2 can edge it out on like a Cash and an Inferno, or a Dust and an Inferno. But
I think Dust will be a good one for them, yeah. And also, what I want to say about NRG is NRG against Heroic. I'm waiting because I'm waiting till the maps are out, because I want to see which of the two teams bans Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Because they both ban Cash, but if Heroic bans Cash, NRG can big Overpass. Should be a free map for NRG if you look at their Overpass. Mm-hmm. If NRG bans Cash, then Heroic. Let me check. I mean, Heroic can pick like I feel like Heroic would be favored on a Nuke. so they can pick a nuke or a dust, because Energy has lost a nuke twice.
What
I'm
about
dust
a train?
twice.
What about a train for heroic? Do you think they get scared because they played it against Ghost? And Energy played it against Ghost yesterday.
Yeah, I think Heroic won't pick Train because they're on like a 5 losing streak or something. I think.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing that great, but it's online, so I feel like they have to pick whatever they're comfortable with. But I think they're gonna pick Dust or Nuke, because Energy has played Dust twice and they've. Oh no, they won against Liquid on it.
It's a tricky tournament just because no team is. I mean, there's a cut. Like I would say, big on Dust 2 is like a solid pick almost always. Or big on Train. There's a few teams that have like pocket picks that depending on the matchup are like 90% probable, but there's a lot of sort of tier 2 like inconsistency problems we have here as well. You know.
Yeah.
Like who did Energy lose to at the last tournament?
Oh my.
It was like.
I'll check it out. If I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna be a Vega. Wasn't it Vega?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my!
I think it
on
was.
Overpass as well.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's right. They won on map 1 and then go on to their own map pick.
They were down like 10-0, like 8-1. No, 8-1 or something. They were down on 11-2. They were down 11-2 on map 1. They come back on map 1.
Right.
Then get smashed on Overpass after being 8-7.
Yeah.
They came back again. Then it was 8-7, and then they got 0 rounds on CT side. I was so tilted.
Yeah, that's right. I just remember Cert constantly saving on that map. And having really no impact on the CT side, and then and then they got rolled on the final, whatever it was. But so if Energy get off to a good start, I just can't see them dropping a map to heroic. It's when they have to grind back rounds that sometimes if it's not working, they just sort of enter that like, what are we gonna do mode, you know?
yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
So,
it's. I feel like like you said, they need the economy. They need a decent start, but I think Overpass is a good pick for them. I think we'll see Energy winning it overall. So
yeah,
just kind of curious who will ban Cash.
Okay, so I think that's everything. We'll be back with the next episode next week, and hopefully we'll have the full panel and. Yes.
Hopefully we will.
Hopefully we will. All right, good luck on your picks this weekend, Guillermo.
Yeah, same to you.
All right, see you later.
See you.